Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of An Octave Higher. So, I just kind of realized that there's a gallery that you can kind of go to. Like, I kind of noticed it before, but I wasn't really paying enough attention to it. So, I thought I would just quickly check it out before we get into the story. Sound good? Good. Oh, okay, so it just kind of shows you all the different pictures that you go through. Oh, there's oh my god, there's tons more. Wait, did I see one that had 15? No, I didn't. Okay. There's one with 8. Oh my god, there's another one with 9. 6. Oh wow. So it just kind of shows you all the different pictures that are around as you go through the story. That's pretty neat. Oh yeah, and I don't think I mentioned, but there's 6 achievements for this game on Steam, and each of the achievements represents a different ending, including the true ending. So I guess there's 6 different endings. Now, normally, depending on the game and how the story goes, I can be pretty good at getting the true ending sometimes. So I'm gonna see if I can aim for that, and if I don't get it, not a big deal. But if you guys are interested in seeing the different endings of this game, I can try and do a second go with this game and see where I go from there. But I don't really know yet if I'm going to do that. It really just kind of depends. So, yeah, let's get started. Water Day 36 Tillis AM 313. I believe that means it's a Wednesday. I'm woken up by the sound of knocking on my door, followed by the voice of a maid from behind the door. My lord, lunch has been served. With a groan, I force myself to get up and drag myself downstairs. Father has gone out somewhere, so I sit by myself at the dining table. Some dishes are already prepared. Suddenly aware that I had missed breakfast this morning, I devour a thin slice of marinated raw salmon, barely tasting it. Despite having slept through the morning, my eyelids still feel heavy as lead. Well, at least I managed to copy that score for Elise. I take a bite of veal loin roast, but before I can judge its taste, I remember that I have to give the copy of the score to Elise before she leaves the conservatoire for home. Hastily, I finish my meal, shower, and leave the house. Perspective switch? Nope. It's just Professor Poe looking incredibly shocked to see me. Okay.
Why, if it isn't young Lord Godwin, what brings you to my humble laboratory?
I've come to the laboratory after arriving at the conservatoire in a taxi carriage, but for some reason Elise isn't here. Neither is Franz. Instead, I see the professor who had visited my father last week. Yesterday I used Sorcerer as an excuse to look for Franz and Elise, but in my haste I hadn't thought of any reason why I might come here today. I'm looking for Franz.
Oh, I didn't know the two of you have become so close. It's too bad, but Franz left this morning.
Where did he go?
The factory. He hadn't seen any progress with his assistant's magic, so he thought she should try reproducing the effect in the original setting.
He took Elise back to the slums? I see, the factory. Thank you very much, Professor.
You're welcome, young lord.
At first, the taxi carriage driver refused to take me all the way to the factory, but he's finally convinced when I offer to double the fare. Now where is Elise? Franz had mentioned that he had seen Elise try to fix the piano in some yard behind the factory, so they must be in the same yard right now. Now where might that be? I scan my surroundings, but there isn't any place that resembles a yard. Instead, I see a worker near the factory entrance. I call out to her. Hey, you! Are you talking to me? Oh, that's Jude. Or June, or whatever her name was. Yes, I'm looking for a yard. A yard? Which one? I don't know. I was told there was a backyard to this factory, one with a piano in it. Oh, the piano. Yeah, sure. Just follow that path and you'll find it. Her direction leads me to a narrow, grassy path sandwiched between the concrete fence surrounding the factory complex and the outer wall of the factory building. After walking several hundred feet, an open area is visible at the end of the path. As I draw closer to the opening, I can feel a concentration of compassion magic emanating from it. compassion magic paints my vision with vast whiteness, and then I hear it. A piano sound. As soon as my vision returns a half-second later, I rush to where the sound comes from. Frederic? Huh? Frederic, what are you doing here? Elise is facing the piano, her downturned hands suspended a few inches above the keyboard. Franz is standing next to her. They blink at my unannounced presence. The piano? Was it fixed? Not at all. Elise presses some keys, but no sounds come out. But your magic certainly feels different here than in the lab. If we could get enough data for analysis, we might be able to figure out a way to make it work. Then let's continue, Franz. Sure. The piano is still broken, so why did I hear a piano sound? Wait, did I really hear it? No, there couldn't have been a sound. It was just my imagination. I thought I had heard something, but now I know I didn't really hear anything. What a very strange feeling. Yeah, the same exact one that Franz was explaining to you earlier, right? But I'm not here to think about the piano. Ahem, Elise. Yes? Here. I hand the copy of the score to Elise. What is this? It's the score of Adora de Spirito Adolescente. Oh, yesterday's sorcerer music, right? She flips through the pages with a blank look on her face. Yes, didn't you say that you wanted to play it on the piano? Yeah, I think playing this piece on the piano would be fun. Is this for me? Yes, of course. I made it for you. Well, thank you, Frederic. She clutches the score to her chest with a weak smile, the same kind of smile one gives to strangers at one's father's birthday party. Elise, shall we continue? Yeah, let's continue. Facing the piano again with both palms open in front of the piano, Elise lets her mana flow through her straightened arms to her hands. Franz tries pressing some keys. Hearing no sounds, he shakes his head slowly. Still broken, as expected. Let's try it again. Okay. Wait, what about the score I gave her? Isn't she going to say anything about that? Oh no. He's gonna fuck up, isn't he? Elise? Elise turns to me with the same emotionless expression. Yeah? Ignoring Franz, who is staring irately at me from the corner of his eyes, I say to Elise, after you rearrange the piece for piano, you can play it at my house anytime you want. Oh, okay. Actually, Elise would rather play it on this piano, so she has to work on fixing it now. What's with this guy? I'm talking to Elise, damn it. He's getting on my nerves. Oh, jeez. Oh no, you're gonna fuck up, aren't you now? Heh, I don't see you making any progress with your research. When will she be able to play that piano, I wonder? Franz is visibly annoyed. We would find an answer to that question much faster if we could work on it without any distraction. Distraction? I was just trying to do something for Elise. I wasn't trying to get in the way of her work. But it's true that she isn't too happy with me being here. I thought she'd be overjoyed after receiving the score, but she isn't. I feel foolish. Why did I come here? My fists are shaking. Oh, no, you're gonna fuck up. Ha! I just came to give her a way out of your stupid experiment so she won't have to deal with that. Oh no. That piece of trash piano that anyone with half a brain knows will never make a sound again. You've just insulted Elise personally, you fuckwad. For a moment, there's only silence. I can see surprise on both Franz and Elise's faces. Elise scowls and looks away. What am I doing? I'm upsetting Elise. Elise who I worked so hard to please. Then Franz explodes in anger. What? Didn't you convince Lord Godwin to fund my research because he wanted to support it? Right. I am supposed to act as if I wanted to support his research, but he's really making my blood boil. I can't even talk to Elise without him interrupting everything. You'd be better off apologizing! Just fucking apologize. I'm sorry. Yes, I want to support this research. Without saying anything more, I turn away and walk back along the narrow path. Outside the factory, the sun is already setting. Some workers are leaving the factory as others are going in, ready to work the night shift, although no excitement shows on their faces. And now I realize I have a problem. I don't know how to get back to the city. I should have had the taxi carriage wait for me here. I could try asking one of the workers to show me the way, but I don't feel like talking to anyone right now. I walk in the opposite direction from most of the workers. Their homes are probably even farther away from the city. Oh no, he's gonna get attacked by Libertad, isn't he? I don't know where I'm going, but I keep walking. It's already sundown, but even during the day this area must be dark, because the street is narrow and the buildings are blocking the sunlight. My steps are heavy. The combination of lack of sleep, frustration, and disappointment has drained me. Elise. I came to the factory today to give Elise the score because I thought it would make her happy, because I thought I'd be able to see her smile. Yet it did no such thing. Somehow I managed to upset her yet again. Why would she care? Having the score doesn't mean anything to her because she doesn't have a piano to play the piece. She obviously wouldn't want to play the piano at my place given what happened last time. What a fool. She still hasn't forgiven me. Even if she said she did, those are just words. In her heart she doesn't feel forgiveness. And after hearing me say that the piano would never make a sound, she must hate me even more. How could this happen? Not only was I not able to see Elise smile, I managed to upset her again. How pathetic. No wonder Elise hates me. She should hate me. I guess I'll never see her again. I should stop bothering her. I should stop making her feel uncomfortable. I should disappear from her life. That would be the best gift I could give her. That is the closest thing to happiness that I could offer her. If I'm being honest with myself, that is the only way I could manage to make Elise happy. And I want Elise to be happy. What was it that made me think I could do anything for Elise anyway? What a silly thought. All the money in the world, the best education money can buy, and it takes me this long to see something so obvious. Elise is doing just fine without me. She doesn't need anything from a man whose only skill is smashing crystal balls to orchestral accompaniment. She doesn't need me. Of course she doesn't need me. Dude, are you alright? I stop when I notice a man staring at my face. His clothes look as if a pig had been wearing it while rolling in mud. He reeks of dog shit. He's taller than me, but he looks half-starved. You're walking like a zombie, man. Are you ill? Oh no. Get away from me, you filthy beggar. Hey, no need to be hostile. I was just worried about you, man. Whatever, fuck off. Are you picking a fight? Do you think you can get away with that kind of attitude just because you're a bourgeois? No, I can get away with it because I'm me. Not so fast, young man. I think I need to teach you some respect. The other proles around us are watching in anxiety. Some of them walk quickly away. What, are you going to hit me or something? Go ahead, try. Hey, don't push me, kid. I'll do it. Do it! I'm telling you to. Go ahead! You're a call, buddy. The man pulls his fist back and swings it at my head. However, before it gets close, I unleash the mana that I have silently amassed in my hands. In his unbalanced position, the man is quickly pulled down by an amplified gravity force, hitting the dirt hard. Ugh! Ouch. The man grunts while lying on his stomach. Even after the gravity is back to normal, he's still down on the ground. What was he thinking, trying to fight without magic? I step over his body and continue walking. All the other poles move away from me. Some of them go inside their houses. But there are two familiar men who keep standing without moving an inch, even as I draw near them. The Libertads. I knew it. It's you again. This time you're really looking for trouble. Get lost. I'm not in the mood. Neither am I. The Libertan then speaks to his friend. Hey, let's do something about this arrogant little prick. Yeah, let's. The other Libertan backs away. The first one brings his hand forward. Something big and round is materializing in front of his open palm. A boulder bigger than his upper body appears in the air, and then he controls the air around the boulder to fly it fast towards me. But this kind of attack is nothing for an experienced sorcerer like me. I raise my left arm. Summon! And a thick wall shoots up from the ground, shielding me from my opponent's incoming ball of rock. The two masses of rock collide with each other. The impact scatters shards of rock across the street. Before they fall on the ground, my right hand is already straightened out towards my opponent, scorching and burning with courage. Summon! From my hand a fire bursts forth, its flickering flames connecting my hand and the Libertan's body. Ah! The fire completely consumes the man, obscuring his features. But even though he's burning, I can feel faith building up from him. A gust of wind blows across his body. It rakes the fire off his body like a tattered garment. Ugh, damn it. Still panting, the Libertad member puts his left hand forward, again focusing on willpower, but this time with greater amount of mana. Another boulder, much bigger than the last, materializes in front of his hand. With his other hand, he is writing faith. Hasn't he learned his lesson? But I'm not going for the same tactic. Instead, I dash towards the gigantic rock before him, with courage blazing within my hands. When I'm perhaps a body length from him, I open my 2 arms as wide as the boulder. Summon. And then I widen my arms even more, stretching my hands apart as far as they'll go. Amplify! The big rock explodes right in front of the Libertad, sending him flying backwards through the air. The explosion isn't deadly, but unless his partner can cast Revive, that man is down for the count. Even though I directed the explosion away from me, I too took a little of the impact from the sheer force of the burst of energy. The man lands on his back nearly 20 feet from where he stood. He doesn't try to cushion his fall. He's out cold. I look at the other Libertad. Now, will you stay the hell away from me, or must I do the same to you? He just stays silent while looking at me unblinking. I'm tired of dealing with this Libertad nonsense. I'm going to finish this quickly. Without giving him time to prepare himself, I summon a heap of rocks high in the air that rain down on the Libertad member. He avoids the rocks by jumping sideways to his left, but I follow his movement with my hand. A new clump of rocks appear in the air according to my hand's new position and continue to rain down fiercely on him. He keeps dodging, but he's nearing a wall, so he will have nowhere to go. All of a sudden, I feel the aura of his faith. He casts wind that blows on my rocks, sending them flying back at me. I quickly try to erect a rock wall to shield me, but his wind is too fierce. Before I can cast any spell, the speeding rocks have plowed into me like a stampede of wild horses. Ah! I fly backwards through the air, my body shaking with pain. I try to roll myself sideways in midair to lessen the impact of hitting the street, but there is no impact. Still in the air, I am suddenly caught in a tornado that sends me hurtling upward. My body keeps tumbling higher and higher. I'm being jerked around violently and can't tell which way I'm pointed. Just when I slow down before reaching peak altitude, I feel scorching heat from below. Fire whirls up through the swirling wind and engulfs me. Ah! I can feel myself starting to cook. I concentrate a barrier around my body to minimize the damage, but it won't last long in this powerful fire. Thankfully, the fire is soon extinguished because a gale hammers me from a strait above. I plummet to the ground like a meteorite, my body leaving a smoke trail from the extinguished fire. This is cheating. This is illegal. You're not allowed to attack your opponent if he hasn't recovered from your previous attack to a ready stance. This guy doesn't know how to fight. Actually, I think it's you who doesn't know how to fight. 'Cause you're only used to sorcerer matches, and those have rules to them. In actual fighting, there are no rules. So you can do whatever the fuck you want, especially if you're defending yourself. The last thing I remember before everything goes black is the street coming up to catch me. Fast. Well, shit. Wind day 31 Sextilis AM 313. Morning cuts my sleep short yet again. I try to yawn myself awake, but to no avail. Between me and a productive day are my jealous and enticingly warm blankets. No matter how much I try to get up, they convince me to stay down. Yesterday was eventful. Why did Frederic say that the piano wasn't going to make another sound? Wasn't he the one who was interested in my research from the beginning? If he isn't, that means he has other reasons for supporting this project. I think I have an idea what those reasons are. Which brings me to the bigger problem. Since the fight with Frederic, Elise has become spiritless. She seems strange, like a mage without mana. Poor girl. As a result, after that little incident, we weren't able to make any progress with the research. Her magic returned to being completely ineffective, like in the laboratory. The piano even stopped sounding its mysterious note. If she can't find her rhythm again, it'll be seriously bad for me. We haven't produced enough data yet to create a thesis. We have to get her back to normal somehow. Ugh, my head hurts. I spent all night thinking about this and I'm not getting anywhere. I need to refresh myself. I spring up from bed, take a shower, and get dressed for school. I find Elise and Aretha waiting for me outside. Greetings, friends! Aretha is energetic as usual. Good morning, friends. Are you ready to get started? I am. Unexpectedly, but not unwelcomingly, Elise is also full of energy. Maybe Aretha's liveliness has rubbed off on her. Yeah, definitely. Let's do our best, Elise. Okay. As I'm speaking with Elise, I notice Aretha is inspecting my face closely, so I ask her, "What is it? You're going to make me blush if you keep staring." "Nothing. It's just, there are bags under your eyes." "Oh, I stayed up really late." "Huh? What were you doing all night?" "Nothing, just..." "Oh my gosh, did you have a girl stay the night again?" "Huh? No! Franz! Franz is a beast! You're unbelievable, Franz. Are Elise and I not enough for you?" Hey. Aretha pulls Elise away and drags her to the omnibus stop with an exaggerated gait as if each step were a stomp. "Elise, be careful. Franz is a sexual predator. If you stand too close to him, you might get pregnant." "What? Is that even possible?" Elise's eyes are wide open, more in awe than horror. "Yes!" That's a frightening magic spell. There are no spells like that. I hope Aretha hasn't been putting all sorts of weird thoughts into Elise's head. I spend half the morning commute explaining to Elise that there are in fact no magic spells that could make a girl pregnant. "Oh, so that's how it is. I thought it was something you learned in magic science." Which part of it sounded like science to you? "But it's magical science. You're supposed to know spells that ordinary magicians don't." No, magical science is not about learning spells." "It's not? Then why do you go to a magic school?" How do I explain this? Elise is hardly the only person to have this misconception about magical science. Many students go into magical science hoping to learn how to cast high-level magic spells or to learn secret techniques to make their magic stronger, but really, magical science is mostly math and theory. Vocational schools are better for students who are only interested in using magic. Magical science is about spellcasting as much as archaeology is about digging. Elise, you're misunderstanding something." Finally, Aretha comes to my rescue. She's usually better at explaining things to people without scientific or engineering background. "Fran's ability to make a girl pregnant with the sheer power of mind is not a magic spell. It's his superpower." Oh god. "Franz, is this a power you have to try to use, or does it happen accidentally?" I spend the rest of the morning commute explaining to Elise that I don't in fact possess a superpower of any kind. Man, it must be fun to mess with a prole. Franz? Yes? Can you help me with something? What is it? I assembled a magic machine prototype in one of the empty rooms in the East building yesterday. Now I have to move it to my classroom. The prototype is pretty big, so I need someone who can cast levitation. The levitation spell, like all other spells that control air, is based on faith. So basically she needs someone who is gifted in faith. I don't mind helping Aretha, but after what happened yesterday at the factory, I was hoping to start work with Elise as soon as possible. Well, I can find somebody else to help me if you don't have the time. I'll help Aretha since I ditched her the last time. Fine, I can help you. Marvelous, darling. Elise, will you wait for me at the laboratory? Professor Poe should already be there. Okay. See you later, Elise. See you later, Aretha. Lead the way, your ladyship. What? I was about to say, like, ladyship, and I don't know. Right this way, Sir Franz. I follow Aretha out of the main conservatoire building and into the East building. At this time, there aren't many people in the East building because most students are having their classes and the classrooms are all in the North building. We stop in front of a door, then Aretha produces a key, unlocks the door, and opens it. The room is small and mostly empty. It probably used to be a club room for a now defunct club. There's a small desk, an empty storage rack, and at the center of the room, a familiar-looking magic machine. The magic machine looks like an omnibus. In fact, it is exactly like an omnibus, but it's only about the size of a typical desk. It would be a perfect vehicle for transporting a dozen kittens if one could find a little driver kitten to operate the thing. What is this? It's exactly what it looks like. A micro-omnibus? It's an omnibus model. Our advanced magic machinery teacher told us to build an improvised version of Omnibus as a group assignment. but we obviously wouldn't build a real omnibus in a conservatoire, so we're making a miniature model. So this thing can actually fly. Not yet, but it'll fly before the end of the semester. And because it doesn't fly yet, I need your help to carry it to the classroom. Ah, I see. I bring my hand near the omnibus model and focus on my faith. I cast a levitation spell and the omnibus is lifted a few inches off the floor. I raise my hand slowly and it floats even higher. Then I direct it out of the room. Aretha and I walk behind the slow-moving itty-bitty omnibus. Outside the building, people watch in amazement. I can imagine how seeing a small omnibus flying across the observatoire courtyard can be quite a sight. I move the omnibus slowly for fear of making it bump into a wall or a person and accidentally damaging Aretha's work. At last, the omnibus makes its final stop at Aretha's classroom. I bring it down to the floor gently before releasing it from the effect of the levitation spell. Phew! Thanks, friends! What are you fewing for? I did all the work. There are some other omnibus models belonging to other students who are already in the classroom waiting for the lesson to start. Just like Aretha's, none of those models are functional yet, but they already resemble an omnibus, except the few that are more similar to a cardboard box. You said the assignment was to make an improved version of omnibus, right? How do you plan to improve your omnibus? I don't know yet, but I'm thinking of adding a mechanical system consisting of a set of levers. These levers will be placed inside the omnibus and passengers will be able to pull them. If a lever is pulled, the mechanical system will pull the other levers along and lock their position so that they can't be moved back to the original position, except by pulling a master lever near the driver. In other words, only the driver can reset the system. Passengers will be able to use this to tell the driver when they want to get off. Once the omnibus arrives at the stop, the driver will reset the levers to their original position. This will increase efficiency because if no passengers need to disembark and the driver sees that there are no people waiting at the next stop, he doesn't have to slow down or stop. That's interesting. I can see how such a system can be useful. It would save time and mana. But wait, that's not a magic system. That's just an ordinary mechanical system. Yeah, so? Aren't you a magical engineer? You're supposed to build magic machines. Well, I don't know about supposed to. In this case, my objective is simpler to implement as a mechanical system. But magical engineering is about building and working with magic machines, right? That's what magical engineers do. I guess you could say that, but that's not really true. Magical engineering may be about magic systems and magic machines and stuff, but ultimately magical engineering is just a name. We're engineers and engineering is problem solving. Engineers are supposed to be problem solvers. Engineering is not about using advanced technology or making something high-tech. It's about identifying a problem and devising a solution. And if the best solution is cheap, simple, easy to make, and easy to use, we go with that rather than a high-tech or magical solution. Problem solving. Yep, that's what we engineers do. I guess magical science isn't the only academic discipline that's often misunderstood. I never thought about it that way. I guess that's one of the differences between science and engineering. Yeah, scientists try to understand how things work in nature, and then engineers use that knowledge to build things that don't yet exist in nature. But sometimes engineers have to make do with incomplete knowledge, which is why we often make assumptions or work based on simplified mathematical models. Because if there is a problem, we're expected to come up with a solution, even if it is an imperfect solution. Due to how carefree your personality is, sometimes I forget that Aretha is sort of a genius. While most of us are still thinking about how to graduate as a magical scientist or a magical engineer, Aretha is already thinking about what it means to be one in heart and soul. But friends, sometimes I wonder, as a scientist and an engineer, do we really understand people's problems? And do we have solutions for those problems? Huh? Aretha is almost always in high spirits, but suddenly she starts to look a bit gloomy. After meeting Elise, I realized how much I didn't know about our own society. We study magic and magic machines, but it turns out there are other problems out there, and we might not have a solution for them. I never knew Aretha thought about politics and society. Yeah, but they're not our problems, Aretha. She falls quiet. On her face is an expression I have never seen before. She looks neither sad nor happy, but her face paints a mixture of emotions. She seems to be pondering something. Not long afterwards, she replies in a light but vibrant voice. Yeah, maybe you're right. And her usual happy face returns with a hearty laugh. Well, thanks again for helping me move the omnibus model, friends. Shouldn't you go to the lab? Yeah, I probably should. See you then. See you. I leave the classroom as more students are coming in. And I think I'm going to leave it there. Aretha left something to really ponder about. And, you know something? This visual novel is kind of unique in that sense. Or it leaves you a lot of things to think about after you play it. And you know what? I really like that aspect of it. I love that this game makes you think, and that it really introduces these aspects that people just kind of want to ignore. Or in Fran's case, they're just like, oh, it's not my problem. But like, that shouldn't be your sole motivation for not doing something, you know? Like, what if you could make a difference to other people? What if you can make things easier for your children or your children's children if you decide to go down that route? Or even like your friends' kids or something like that. Because like, I've got 2 friends who have kids, and like, I'd love to do something that would make it easier for their kids, even though I don't choose to have kids. Like, don't you want to do something that really helps out somebody else? Because, I don't know, wouldn't that be really fulfilling in both for yourself and for the other person? I don't know. It's something to think about. Anyway, later guys. I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, and that was an octave higher. If you're interested in checking out the next episode, then just click on the icon on the right hand side. If you're interested in any of the other games that I have listed here that have very similar storylines that are pretty intricate, I would say to check them out as well. And if you want to subscribe, just click my icon and we're good to go. So yeah, see you later.